entirely mismanaged, except to point out that Rumsfeld will go down as one of the worst secretaries of defense in history, but we are where we are. And if we leave, in my view, as the Democrats want us to do, then they will follow us home. We'll have chaos in the region and have them follow us home. And I don't want that to happen, obviously. When Harry Reid says the war is lost, then somebody won it. Is that Al-Qaeda? You want to tell the young men and women who are serving today in Iraq and Afghanistan that we just lost the war? I don't think so. But I also want to say to you that what they seem to have forgotten is that presidents don't lose wars and political parties don't lose wars, but nations lose wars. And I saw a lost war many years ago. And I don't want to see another lost war. It took us a long, long time to recover from it, and I think a great deal more is at stake. There's some members of the United States Marine Corps and the military and others who are in this audience tonight, and I'm grateful for your service. I'm willing for your willingness to serve. We are proud of our son in the Marine Corps, and we are proud of our son at the Naval Academy, who for a long time had no demerits, and so I was going to do a DNA check to make sure he was actually my son. But anyway, so I'd like to end up just by telling you a brief story and thanking you again for being here. A couple of weeks ago, I was on my way back from a trip to Iraq, where the only danger I faced was from a hostile press. But I stopped in Ramstein, which is an air base in Germany, as you know, and there's a hospital there called Landstuhl, which is where they transfer the wounded from Afghanistan and Iraq, treat them, and send them on to Walter Reed and Bethesda. I was visiting the wounded. I walked into a hospital room, and there was a young man there named Mark Robbins, who was a Navy SEAL, first-class petty officer. Very well-built, very strong, very handsome young man. And he was, less than 48 hours before I walked into his hospital room, he had been in a vicious firefight outside Baghdad with his fellow SEAL team members. A guy had been aimed an RPG at his comrades, and he stood and shot and killed the guy. In the course of it, he took an AK-47 bullet in his right eye, and it followed the curvature of his skull and exited the back of his skull. Mark Robbins walked to the helicopter, and then walked from the helicopter to the field hospital. I walked into his hospital room, as I said. He was asleep. There was another member of the SEAL team there, and I said, "Tell him hello for me," and I went down the hall. A few minutes later, his friend, Petty Officer Swink, came and said, "Mark would like to see you." I went back into his hospital room. He said, "I've got to sit up. I've got to sit up." He sat up in his bed, and he grabbed a hold of my hand, and he held it tightly, and he said, "Senator McCain, I'm honored that you would come see me." He said, "I'm grateful for your support." And he held out my hand real tight, and he said, "Senator McCain, we can win this fight. We can win this fight." So, I'll take Mark Robbins' word for it, and I'll do everything I can to support those brave young men and women who are serving our country with such courage and bravery. And I'll do everything I can to bring them home safe and sound. Thank you for being here tonight. Thank you for supporting them, and God bless you.